Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing a viewer request topic and looking at the question, what do you need to work on to move closer to reconciliation or reunion with your person? So thank you to the subscriber who recommended this topic. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is this agate slice, along with these cards. Group 2 is the Goldstone, along with these cards. And group 3 is the Quartz Angel, along with these cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you would like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling cards in between groups to clear the energy of the group I've just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the agate slice along with these cards, which I will take a look at in a minute. This will be kind of what you need to work on right now or focus on in order to move closer to reconciliation or reunion with your person. I'm going to start with a little bit of tarot to get kind of a feel of where you are at on your journey with them internally in your own journey, your journey of self-love, your journey of ascension in comparison to a twin flame journey that you may find yourselves on currently as well. Okay, so we have the Sun, which is Leo energy. 8 of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. King of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Page of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. King of Pentacles, which is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Ace of Wands, so more of that fire energy. The World, which for me as a reader is fixed energy, Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. And Ace of Cups, which is more of that water energy. So let me just adjust these cards a little bit, try to get everything on camera as close as possible. Okay. So to start with the sun being the first card, this is definitely a card of congratulations. Your hard work, your efforts at this point in time to really try to make the best of the situation, to focus on abundance, on other goals that you may have, on keeping an optimistic outlook about the situation, what has played out and the potential for the future has really paid off. You're on the right track in terms of whatever you've been doing to heal or release or come to a place of acceptance about the situation. With the King of Swords, this is a very direct energy, an energy of communication tied in with Page of Cups and Ace of Cups. This can really talk about your emotional needs, kind of the honesty that you have been displaying to yourself, even ways in which you've communicated this with others, either speaking to your person directly, expressing sort of your emotional needs, your emotional wants, not sweeping these things under the carpet in the interest of placating this person, but being very direct with the Eight of Wands as well, this very direct communication right here, being very honest with yourself about what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, what you want the future of this connection to look like, what your definition of love is, how this situation compares to that, what needs to be changed and improved upon for the future. All of this has been very effective in moving you in a very positive direction in your life and in this situation. This can also really relate to community that you have created or you've sought out, maybe twin flame community. Maybe this is people that you are on some kind of Facebook group with, or an Instagram group, or this can even be readers, tarot readers that you are watching, channels you are subscribed to, ways in which you are participating in the comments with other viewers, sharing your story, encouraging others, being that source of upliftment and congratulations to others, celebration with and for others for the milestones that they have reached on their journey. Instead of, kind of occupying a space of maybe feeling a little bit jealous or a little bit sad. Even if you are feeling sad with this imagery here of this world, and there's a tear streaming down the world's face. And this can really talk about, when you're hearing about other people who have come into union, who have heard from their twin, who have received communication, and that might spark within you feelings of jealousy, feelings of, being a little bit left out, kind of like, when's it going to be my turn? And leaning into that, not trying to suppress these things, but honoring these feelings within you, feeling these things, like the saying goes, you have to feel it to heal it, and then moving beyond that, moving then into that bigger perspective, that trust in the universe that in the time and manner that it's meant to, change will occur in this situation, feeling that full range of emotions, again, not denying what might be construed as almost those shadow aspects of a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of feeling, on the outskirts, or again, just jealousy is really kind of coming up. Not that you're wishing ill on others, but, kind of that initial sort of tinge of being happy for somebody, for kind of the turn of events in a very positive direction for them in their situation. But then those feelings that can kind of surface where you're sort of then drawn back to the reality, the current 3D circumstances that you are facing. And it's a feeling of being left out, kind of like the last person picked for a team. In school and when there's kind of a group sport that's happening, some kind of a play or an activity, and kind of being that last person in line, that last person picked, and sort of that, leaning into that, allowing yourself to feel those instances, but then processing that, purging that, moving through that. Not sitting in those feelings of anything that you've been wallowing about. But again, with this Ace of Wands here, really, picking yourself back up. Instead of cycling and circling round and round these thoughts and feelings, even if this doesn't have to do with other people that you are witnessing that things are taking on kind of a positive and progressive direction in their connection, but just sort of this energy that you might have been in at one point in time of sort of ruminating about the circumstances that you find yourself in with your person, and really sort of redirecting your focus, redirecting your attention, picking yourself back up out of kind of those depths of vibration that are associated with kind of sadness and isolation and loss. focusing with this King of Pentacles on other things that you want to kind of create and birth within your life, utilizing the energy that exists between you and your person, even in separation, as this creative force, some way to kind of create and exact change in the world around you, either in the form of other things that you're trying to manifest, working on your stability, working on your success in a material sense, focusing on things that you are able to control, that you are able to cultivate, allowing this person the time and the space to kind of come to their conclusions organically about what needs to be sort of done in their life and in their journey, things that they are needing to figure out, anywhere that it might have just been an acute focus for quite some time, or really clinging or holding on, the ways in which you've detached and you've redirected that focus to self. This has been very effective in advancing you in some way closer to this union with self, that reconciliation of the masculine and feminine polarities within you, these emotional aspects of you, both, kind of those very high and exuberant feelings, and honoring and holding space for almost the lows that we need to experience from time to time, that element of contrast, but then not living there, not saturating oneself in that, failing to kind of see the bigger picture and just, remaining in these very stuck and kind of immediate emotions, but allowing yourself to process these things, process that grief, cry those tears, be very honest about where the situation is, and where you would like it to go moving forward, and then taking decisive action to create change for yourself in other ways. This has helped to, again, create that balance of the receptive polarities and this action-oriented kind of like internal masculine energy, where instead of just kind of waiting for opportunities to come to you, creating those opportunities for yourself, creating doors for yourself where maybe there was only a wall, or there was only a suggestion or a thought or a desire. And kind of allowing that space for things within you to settle, addressing what comes up, but not allowing that to kind of dominate and rule your vibration or how it is you are viewing your life in general. You've made a lot of forward progress with the world. You've closed out a lot of cycles, a cycle of running and chasing that might have gone on, and you've really taken your power back from that circumstance and situation. And again, kind of that crucial first step toward union with your person, or really calling in this love that you are seeking in a physical sense, is that reconciliation. It is that union with self internally. It's that, unabashed self-love. It's being unashamed about owning kind of the shadows and the light aspects of self, holding all of these things close, recognizing ourself as a mosaic of all these beautiful and intricate and often contradictory pieces, but that in that contrast there is a semblance, there is a harmony, there is a balance. And so it's this balance that you have cultivated, both kind of the daylight and the night side aspects of yourself, the emotions you are honoring, the process you are honoring, taking care of yourself, loving yourself, giving yourself the time and space that you need to process these emotions, reaching out for community, expressing yourself rather than, kind of repressing or holding these things in or denying these things, that it has done a lot to really advance you to this place of an empowered energy, a very bright energy, a very magnetic energy, where it's almost, and it may not feel like it at times, especially if you're in the thick of kind of sadness or depression or longing or missing your person, or again, kind of looking around at others that, have received communication. They're moving toward union, things have happened, things have shifted, and it feels very much like you're just in the same kind of cycle with this person, maybe a period of separation or distance, or complete no contact. By the vibration that the other things you are focusing on, your vibration is slowly and in very profound ways has lightened, it has elevated. And this is reflective based on other kinds of things that you are drawing in, maybe the ways in which other relationships in your life have improved. You may not see a lot of movement at this point in time in this situation with your person, with your twin flame, or your soulmate that you're in separation from. But if you take a look around at kind of even just strangers that smile at you on the street, things that seem to be going your way, opportunities that are arising, maybe you're getting awards at work, You've gotten a raise, a business that you've tried to, build and really create is starting to take off. Your relationships with your family and friends seem to be, a source of comfort and joy. You're exchanging a lot of smiles, a lot of good times with each other. All of this is reflective of this vibration within you that you've cultivated, this sunshine within you that you are no longer dimming. You are no longer kind of hiding behind the clouds. These cloudy emotions are no longer obscuring your light. And so efforts that you have made to, again, redirect your focus are paying off very well and should definitely be continued in order to kind of continue to let that light shine, continue to be that beacon that can draw in, this person after they have kind of done their healing. They've worked through some of these shadows. They've kind of allowed the clouds within them to part, becoming that light within themselves and gravitating toward a like frequency. And this also continues to then draw in and magnetize to you abundance in other forms. It's that frequency of abundance that kind of brings to us that which we are seeking. So I'm going to take a look at these oracle cards now and get a little more specific information about what else you could be focusing on or working on at this point in time, maybe taking note of, in order to kind of continue to advance yourself on this timeline toward that destination of some kind of reconciliation, reconnection, or contact with your person. And we have the dark mysteries. Enter the chamber of the dark goddess. Pavarti, the goddess of devotion. I am a love that doesn't leave. When I commit to love, my soul evolves. The prince, the forgotten adversary. Sorrow, lost valor, serendipity. And fulfillment is possible, the attainment. So these cards are really talking about that element of kind of the more dense emotions associated with this situation, with this idea of the adversary, of the prince, and also the dark mysteries. This is really bringing to mind the shadow self, kind of some things, difficult sort of feelings, things that have been triggered by this circumstance. Even again, that element almost of kind of jealousy that you might be feeling, these quick little tinges of jealousy at people around you that you are witnessing, people in your community, even in twin flame community that are kind of sharing their stories, sharing their experiences, and are experiencing that kind of reconciliation, that reunion, receiving contact from their person. Some kind of drastic or substantial shift has happened in the connection, and the feelings of almost being left out in the cold that this sort of stirs very kind of immediately and impulsively within you. Any kind of urge to sort of stuff that down, to shame yourself for feeling these things. You're definitely well served in leaning into these emotions, honoring these emotions, allowing yourself to feel the full range. With this idea of, I am a love that doesn't leave. There may be some ways in which you are abandoning yourself in your darkest hour. Ideas that you may have about only operating in a stance of love and light at all times. Love and light is a very subjective term. A lot of people really equate this with constantly remaining optimistic, constantly remaining positive, sort of shunning heaviness or sort of more dense emotions. It's always striving for that light. It can, which is not a bad thing, but it can often sort of lean into this element of toxic positivity, where when these shadows come up, there's this instinct to want to stuff these things down, to shove them away, to call them bad or counterproductive, to not want to look at these things, to only want to, constantly be pulling ourselves back into that high vibration, seeking out experiences, or, ignoring parts of ourself, parts of our emotional body, parts of our experience. or, even things which are deeply triggering for us because we've come to this belief that to feel these things is somehow counterproductive to the aims that we are reaching for. And the guidance here is that this approach, if you find yourself leaning into that, and this is not to say that there also on the other side of that is anything very productive to be achieved through wallowing. This is all about balance. In some way you need to seek to cultivate to a greater extent. But it really felt that for a lot of you, you already are kind of doing this, but in some way there's a little more recalibration that needs to happen, where you've honored your light side, and there's a bit of your shadow which is being denied or ignored. And it's a matter of coming into a state of balance, almost this yin-yang energy within self, this balancing, this reconciliation of the masculine and feminine polarities within self. When you feel those tinges of jealousy, when you feel that sorrow, when you feel very triggered, when you see something on social media about your person and they're moving off in another direction. Maybe they're in a karmic relationship with somebody else, or they seem very unbothered by the situation. And kind of the feelings that stirs within you, maybe frustration, anger, sorrow, loss. And you could almost be inclined to sort of push these things away, to ignore these things. As uncomfortable as these things are, to want to try to escape that in some way, to numb these things out or to deny these aspects of yourself. And you're encouraged to take a more well-rounded view of yourself, a healthy and authentic view of yourself, that for as much light, for as much sunshine as you hold within you, there is also a shadow. The brightest sun casts the longest shadow. We need these points of polarity within ourselves. We need to explore our own darkness, the feelings that bring us a sense of shame or guilt, or that we feel are bad, or things that we shouldn't be feeling, that it's a vibration that isn't in alignment with what we're trying to reach. But it's almost this idea of, in archery, when you're pulling the bow back on the string and it's creating this tension, the further that you pull that arrow back and then release, the farther that trajectory is. There's a sense of needing to retreat more into your shadow, lean more into those triggers, explore that darkness within you. Trust that the light within you will be that guide through this process, that you are a light in the dark. You are a rainbow in your own darkness. And any kind of fear you may have of being swallowed up by that, or being, lingering too long in these feelings, in these denser emotions, and kind of this shadow aspect of self, feelings that you wouldn't admit to having. Again, this element of jealousy is coming up very strongly, or even feelings of despair, hopelessness that you may have, times when you really doubt that reunion or reconciliation is possible, urges that you may have to just get off of your, twin flame journey, your twin flame path, to discontinue that, to stop holding that light, to stop being that light, to stop believing. These are all a natural part of that contrast to that belief, to that faith, to being that beacon of light. So there's something where you're almost needing to recharge your own batteries. You're needing to enhance your own light, your own vibration in some way through traversing these shadow realms of yourself fearlessly, understanding that you have what it takes within you. You have protection. You have this sword of truth. You have the ability to cut through illusions. The shadows and this density will not swallow you. It may be necessary for a period of time to sort of, if you are called in that direction, or it's a conscious choice, to make that journey into the shadow, to lower that vibration for a period of time, because it's that tension, like the arrow being pulled back, so that when you spring forth, when you emerge from this darkness, you come with wisdom. You become further along in that path to that goal you are wanting to reach. Your light is able to shine brighter precisely because you have become familiar with that vibration of kind of the darkness within you and all the different kind of varieties and tones in which it manifests. So any ways in which you are being triggered heavily at this time, or in kind of the days, weeks, and months to come, an inclination to kind of run from that, you're being encouraged to sit just a little longer in that discomfort. Open your mind to that. Try not to put so much much pressure on yourself that, to explore these things, or to allow yourself to feel this full spectrum of emotions, that in any way it will derail you from the goal in which you're seeking, that in any way it will be you getting in your own way of this union. By exploring that darkness, you are honoring your light. You are becoming that living embodiment of that yin-yang energy. And there is power in that. There is power in that shadow. It is up to you to really absorb that, to take that in, to consume that darkness within you and transmute that into light. Utilize that as motivation to become more loving of self, more compassionate of self. As much compassion as you may have, as much love as you may be directing towards your person, encouraging them and allowing them the time and space to kind of work through their process on their own. There's some way in which you are benefited by extending that same compassion to yourself, honoring yourself in your darkest moments, telling yourself that it is okay to feel these feelings. By feeling these things, it doesn't mean you have to live there. It doesn't mean that you are, kind of deviating from your path. It doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you any less loving or any less of an embodiment and being of light. It's very necessary to go in there and obtain through firsthand experience knowledge of the other spectrum of what you are seeking, what you are reaching for. The other side of the coin of which, this light in which you emanate, which is that deep shadow within self. So again, you've been doing really good work. Definitely keep that up. This process of kind of, responding to triggers with finding constructive solutions in other ways. But there's something about digging a little bit deeper into that shadow, not being so quick to turn on the light or run from that, not fearing your own shadow, but understanding that there is power in that, that it is the other side of the coin from the light in which you are. And, to reach for this idea of love and light does also kind of bring that understated, that unspoken, almost that silence of the shadow that comes with it. There is no ultimately escaping that. And so to deny that shadow within self is to deny a part of you. To come into this 3D physical union with this other person, it really requires unification within, this balancing of the masculine and feminine polarities within, the light and shadow, the positive and negative. The things you love about yourself and the things that you are not necessarily so fond of, coming to a place of acceptance and familiarity with all of these things and how those change and the different ways in which they manifest can help you to embody that love in which you are seeking. So I'm going to get one of these little affirmation cards. This can be a mantra that you might want to say, something that might help you at this point in your journey. Okay, and we have, I let go of control and surrender my expectations of love to beautiful synchronicity. So that is a very powerful message, and this kind of ties in with this idea of serendipity that was here on the Prince. And this, serendipity, synchronicity, this really all ties into, even the deepest triggers that you are facing. These are not by accident. These times in which things really come to your attention and you may feel that, you don't want to deal with the shadow aspects at that point in time. You try to kind of escape these denser emotions. You're kind of just always striving and sort of running to stand in that sunlight and to just sort of be in that very warm and positive vibration. This is really also some guidance that these things are occurring for you at a very proper time. By exploring the shadow, you're almost recharging the batteries of your light. So surrender to that process. Allow yourself to flow more easily through these polarities within yourself and with what kind of surfaces from within you. Trust that you will be able to kind of master these storms, that you ride this river, and that you will reach that destination of kind of the oasis, that tranquility, that knowledge, that illumination. Shadows are only very fearful things and only have power over us if we choose to ignore them. When we shine that light, when we acknowledge these things, when we become familiar with them, we familiarize ourselves with our own range of emotions. What sets these things off? What are our responses or our reactions to things. When we equip ourselves with that knowledge, we become illuminated about a fuller expression of ourselves. We come into that greater sense of wholeness about who we are in our environment, who we are in comparison to other people, how those relationships and dynamics and kind of external stimuli, how that affects us. And through that greater knowledge of self, we are able to then perceive kind of the wider path forward toward our goals, toward our greater good. We are able to come more deeply into alignment with ourselves, which then aligns us to kind of what we are seeking. We become that well-rounded beacon of light and love for the light and love that we are seeking from another. So I'm going to get some initials for you. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got C, G, B, P, N, K, W, U, V, T, H, Z, F, I, J, E, and Y. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I do offer pre-recorded video readings now for purchase. I have maybe 2 left of the written readings still in my Etsy shop at the time that I'm recording this video, and once those sell out, I will not be restocking them. I'm transitioning over completely to video readings. Those video readings will be sent to you as again, a pre-recorded video, a link to a private YouTube video so you can rewatch it as much as you want, as many times as you'd like. Turnaround time on those is 3 to 5 days from the time of purchase. I also offer and will continue to offer channeled love letters. Those are written readings. They are standalone letters, no tarot cards involved. It's just the letter sent to you as a PDF file. I also make handmade jewelry, dreamcatchers, and suncatchers, which are available in my Etsy shop. So if you would like to check any of that out, there is a link to my shop in the description box of this video and also in the About section of my channel page. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the Goldstone Along with these cards, which I will take a look at in a minute, this will be kind of some guidance about what you need to continue to focus on or work on to kind of bring you closer to reconciliation or reunion with your person. So I'm going to start with some tarot to kind of do a little map check, see where you are on this journey, how far close you are to union, to reunion, to reconciliation. Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. The Empress, which is Taurus and Libra. Three of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. The Star, which is Aquarius. Six of Cups, so more of that water energy. Strength, which is Leo. Seven of Pentacles, which is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. And Judgment, which is Scorpio. Move these cards here, kind of get them a little more on camera for you. Okay, so there's a feeling here with the Star and Judgment, and also this kind of energy of reconciliation, reunion that is encompassed in the Six of Cups, that you have progressed through a major sort of phase of darkness or difficulty, some phase of the heartbreak, the longing for this person, or kind of a downward turn in this connection. A lengthening of the distance between the two of you, which could be very difficult. It may have been very difficult to accept with the Three of Cups, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of things that have been triggered in this connection, through this connection, or that have really surfaced from your subconscious, that you have turned the page, you've turned a corner in a very major way, to where even if things feel very heavy, very difficult at this point in time, the light is coming. Kind of an increase in your energy, an increase in your sense of peace is on the horizon, with this idea of Seven of Pentacles, kind of this divine timing, a little element of the timing not being quite right. This does feel that there is still some more work that you and this person need to do internally. You're not right at the brink of sort of reunion. Even if they kind of come back into your life, it feels that things aren't quite right. There's still some balance that needs to occur within the both of you. But you have made some major progress, almost like the worst in this situation is behind you. As much as this might not feel like it at this time, with that idea of Seven of Pentacles and kind of this watching and waiting, the work you've been doing, you're not really sensing any change. You're not feeling any kind of alleviation. You're still very acutely feeling the heartbreak and the loss. With the Knight of Swords, a lot of kind of going round, circling round in your head about what has occurred. This very, almost this solitary energy in this instance with the Empress. That you're almost you're the only one holding the knowledge or the desire of this connection. You are really kind of maybe closed off to perceiving and seeing what is going on with this person. And this is your world still. This heartbreak, this feeling is it's held very close to you. It's still very much a part of your current reality. It feels almost like, when you see reminders of this person, it's almost this tinge. It almost reopens this wound within your heart. It may feel that, you're kind of stuck at this point in time, that there's no movement forward. You're just kind of standing in place. You don't have the ability to kind of progress. The way forward in any direction is not known. You can't go back in time, and yet it's this feeling of, a future, any future, not being perceivably within reach. And yet something has really happened within you. It may be very difficult to see at this point in time, but you're right on the brink of almost this lightness being shown to you. You're being unearthed. This heaviness, this ground in which you've been buried in, kind of this darkness in which you've really been sitting in. You have pushed and you have sat with this, and you've been brave through this process. You've been strong. You've tried to hold the light of belief. You've tried to hold yourself together as much as possible. And in a very subtle, energetic way, you have had some kind of a breakthrough, and you're on the brink of experiencing that in a material sense. Whether that is, the heartbreak that you're feeling becoming a little less acute, it becomes a little easier to breathe. The way forward becomes known to you. Something that may very quickly reveal itself, either in something that you overhear, maybe something you hear in a reading, maybe something you hear in this reading that just frees you or liberates you from something that has really bound you to this heartbreak, something that you've really been fixated on, focused on. Almost this idea of timing, this element of when is this going to happen? When is this person going to come back around? And how this has been consuming you. It's been consuming your thoughts. It's been consuming your heart, that heartbreak, the longing, the pining, the missing this person, wanting this person, feeling that's just your exclusive focus. That's your world. You're right on this point of things easing up with that, of kind of an ability to sort of let go and let this situation play out organically. So again, still kind of this heaviness. You're still sort of in this sort of dark energy, this energy of the ending. But there's an element of some kind of a rebirth or a renewal, some sort of a reset for you individually, where your focus is then going to be more on healing yourself, on loving yourself, on nurturing yourself in a new way. Some new modality comes to your attention. Again, some bit of information, something you discuss with somebody, something you hear in a reading, something you just overhear on the street. It clicks. It makes sense for you. It clears away a lot of this debris and this rubble for you, so that a way forward, a new direction to grow in, kind of how to make the most of this circumstance, becomes known to you. It pushes you past, and you're then in hindsight able to recognize how this growth has been happening for quite some time. You're kind of right at that final stage of having this kind of this darkness and this pressure upon you, and you're right there at that brink of kind of bursting forth through it. The Strength card here, and it's bringing to mind this idea of almost like a little seedling that is just kind of sprouting out of this earth, out of this pressure, but you're still kind of in this state here. All you look around and see, and you look internally and you feel is just this pressure and this longing and this almost this fixation and this kind of a wallowing energy, a longing for this person, a feeling, is this ever going to end? Is there ever going to be a breakthrough? Am I ever going to feel better about this? And this is really, again, expressing that some kind of opportunity or something, some redirection of your focus onto yourself, maybe something that you've been trying to cultivate in tandem with this as a way to sort of distract yourself. Maybe what you've been trying to focus on, you see some major progress in that. There's a breakthrough in that. Something that you've been working toward blossoms, comes to fruition. Something completely independent of the situation with your twin flame or your soulmate, whoever you're in separation from and no contact from. And it almost gives you a renewal. It gives you hope. It gives you some direction or purpose, some way to kind of redirect that attention. You're in this process of internal alchemy. It's taking place behind the scenes. You're not feeling or seeing any evidence of change, but change is there. You have been making progress, and very soon it will become apparent to you in a more obvious kind of way, in terms of just the way you feel, almost like you're going to wake up one day and feel so much lighter. You'll feel 10 years younger. You'll feel more at ease with where things are at. Or something else you've been working on that maybe, you've had pressure with that. You've had pressure from this situation, and all of a sudden there's a breakthrough to where, all of this kind of being pulled and sort of stuck under this pressure. There's now room to breathe. There's now light. There's now something that is working for you, that you are then able to, kind of pull your attention away to allow this situation to kind of germinate as it will. The wounds which you have been almost picking at or just concentrating on, this heartbreak within you, it has a chance to sort of mend itself. Left in kind of that, that state where you're no longer actively attending to that. The pain that you feel, it's not as acute, it's not as pressing, it's not so glaring or in your face. And through that redirection of your focus, you again kind of give this energy, this wound within you, time to kind of sort itself out, to sort of settle down, to stop festering so much, to stop weeping as much, and to kind of almost you activate and you kick into action this self-healing mechanism within you. You're right at the brink of a breakthrough, which is a very major and important step in this process for yourself, some kind of new kind of approach to your self-healing that brings you closer to that state of wholeness, a recognition of wholeness within yourself, a recognition that you are okay, that you will survive despite the circumstances you find yourself in with this person, despite other things in your life. It's almost this renewal of hope, or like a new life, like a second chance, something else that you are then willing to just kind of leave this to the side for a minute, to let it play out as it will, very organically, in the time that it will, which is the space that is necessary in order to kind of work on and cultivate your sense of self-love, your sense of coming home to yourself, your reunion with yourself, which precedes and is a necessary foundation that you must lay in order to be able to experience and achieve physical 3D reunion or reconciliation with your person. So now I'm going to take a look at these oracle cards and kind of get an expansion on this in comparison to where you are now, still kind of in this pressure stage, right at kind of the end of that tunnel, that darkness, where something major is about ready to kind of pop and break open for you, a way forward or a new kind of series of possibilities. And let's take a look and see kind of what else do you need to focus on to keep that momentum going, to keep growing in that direction. We've got High Priestess, mysteries revealed in the eyes of Isis. Mary of Nazareth, the Mother of God, I am blessed. My courage gives birth to the divine. Dawn, the Red Shepherd, just reward, evaluation, respite. And eternal love, the beloveds. So this is really talking again about that idea of something really popping open, something really breaking ground in your life internally. This almost feels like you are kind of in the throngs of birth pangs at this point in time. A version of yourself, of who you are prior to kind of encountering your twin, meeting your twin, this state of kind of grief and loss and longing that you have been in, that in some way has become so much of your identity, it has consumed so much of you. You're right at the precipice of giving birth to a new way of looking at this situation, a new way of viewing yourself. With this High Priestess, you may have some other gifts that are coming online, other things within you that have been activated or awakened through this connection, because twin flame experiences, it's about a lot more than just a love story. It's all about personal growth and ascension. We essentially trigger one another. Our twin triggers us and we trigger them into this process of kind of dissolving the form of who we were before, who we thought ourselves to be, how we moved through the world, how we even kind of understood the nature of consciousness or reality and our place in that grand scheme. All of that really torn apart, really kind of broken down, changes within ourselves and within our world in order to go into this kind of cocoon phase where we are reimagined. We reimagine ourselves. We come into a greater depth and understanding of who we are in our authenticity. A part of ourself is shed so that this newness can be birthed. And that's part of the ascension journey, kind of these repeating series of births and deaths of ourself, climbing higher and higher in our vibration and deeper into that core of authenticity. So this really confirms right here this idea of something getting ready to give way. It feels very independent energy for you. Again, some gifts that may be coming online for you, some kind of something to do with your intuition that you are really being guided to lean into. If there's been something that, again, is resonating with you in terms of a modality for healing, maybe this is even with this idea of respite, and what was coming through about just redirecting your focus, giving this situation time to breathe, allowing, you may have been focused so much on trying to heal this heartbreak, find a solution to it, find answers, and what's really required is just time for these wounds to heal on their own, to kind of mend themselves on their own. There's a sense of you've infused this situation or the heartbreak with so much attention, so much intention of healing, of kind of alleviation, and now you need to just give this situation a rest. You need to allow this part of yourself, you need to allow your heart to heal very organically, and that is mainly accomplished at this point in your journey through something within you that is awakening, that has been sparked by this person, a stepping into your power, this deeper union of self, this union of your intuition and the ability to then listen to that voice within you and take decisive action forward. Maybe this is a business opportunity or something to do with your spiritual gifts that you have been considering turning that into some kind of an opportunity. Maybe you have considered starting a YouTube channel, reading tarot, or sharing your story. Different kinds of modalities, things that you do for a hobby or that you are interested in. Maybe that's music, maybe that's art, maybe that has nothing to do with the twin flame journey. And it's been something that's been nudging you, that you've either been neglecting because of this focus on the heartbreak, or it's been something where you've been trying to kind of build and work toward this thing, and you've almost had this, this huge tsunami of the twin flame experience and what's going on, that is this distraction as well. And there's a sense here of, following that nudge and that urge to kind of leave this situation on the back burner for a period of time and redirect your focus on this other thing that is getting ready to pop, this other thing that is getting ready to demonstrate to you your wholeness and your capability of manifesting the life that you desire. This other thing, which will reinforce for you and be a source of vindication that this experience, this heartbreak with this person and in these circumstances has been worth it. You have cracked yourself open. You have been cracked open to a deeper authenticity, gifts that you have, parts of yourself, ways in which you move through the world which were inaccessible before. And it has taken almost the pain and the confusion, this period of separation between the two of you. You have needed this time and space apart in order to come to that deeper understanding, that union within self, the masculine and feminine polarities within self, active and receptive polarities. That has been very necessary. It is a first step. It is a prelude. It is the foundation to this physical 3D union with each other. So this really feels like the focus is upon you. Whether you resonate as the masculine or feminine in this circumstance, male or female, gender aside, there is a sense of needing to nurture yourself with this idea of the Empress and Mother Mary, this mothering energy, filling your own cup, loving yourself even more. Part of self-love is, choosing to make an investment of our attention and our energy in situations, people, and things which are reciprocal to us. Any ways in which, that you've been investing in kind of looking for timelines, trying to kind of manifest or speed up this union with this person or this reunion with this person. Any ways in which that has been depriving you of life force energy that could be applied toward kind of the greater purpose of this circumstance. Again, the twin flame journey is about so much more than just a romantic union with a person. It's all about accessing these deeper core layers of self, getting into alignment with our higher purpose, what we came into this lifetime to accomplish, and doing that with kind of a greater power and charge than we would have been able to do had we not been activated and touched at such a deep soul level by this other person. So the focus upon you, the focus upon cultivating what is awoken within you, the things that have shifted and changed within you, psychic gifts within you, things that you are being called to sort of nurture within yourself, be gentle with yourself, rest, take a rest from this situation and from this pressure that you're putting on yourself to almost move beyond heartbreak, to speed up the time, concern and worry and almost this energy of ruminating, of going round and round and a little bit of obsession about kind of where is this person at? When is this going to happen? Even kind of the idea of how far along am I on the journey? Where are they on the journey? If this has in any way been consuming your thoughts and almost really constricting or limiting your ability to enjoy your life in other ways, that you are very well served by kind of being that living embodiment of self-love and kind of taking a rest, pulling back your energies from that situation, redirecting your focus toward other things which may need your attention, other things that you want to experience and grow, or that are in alignment with who you are discovering yourself to be, who you want to become. Other experiences of joy and satisfaction you want to have in this lifetime. By redirecting that focus, you give this situation room to breathe, to kind of heal itself. You almost pull your energy and focus off of this person so that they have kind of an alleviation of energetic pressure. That's not to say you are directly, literally pressuring them, but energetically, the focus upon that is holding space. It's acutely transferred to this person. They feel that, and it almost reinforces any ways in which they've backed themselves into a corner. It just reinforces for them that was the correct decision. When you shift that focus elsewhere, when you shift that focus onto self, they sense that energetically. They sense that wide open space, and it causes them to move. It causes them to look around, to explore, to say, what has changed? What has shifted? What must I now focus on within myself, rather than plying all my energies toward kind of keeping this person or this energy that I sense at bay, toward pressing myself against this wall. I now have freedom to explore and move. I no longer, feel compelled to just be kind of backed away from this situation. It creates that ripple of progress internally, progress within themselves, which then has the ability to manifest and create progress in the situation toward reconciliation and reunion eventually with each other. So I'm going to get one of these little affirmation cards. This can be almost kind of a further message of everything that came through, maybe some kind of a mantra, something to keep in mind in this stage of your journey. And we have, I trust my internal guidance. My soul knows the way forward. So that is a beautiful summarization and confirmation of this idea of intuition and instinct with this kind of this feminine polarity of energy that's coming in here. It's really time for you to go within and to take the focus off of this situation in a more consistent way than you have, to really, search within and see, who have you become as a result of this situation, out of what has been activated or awoken within you. Any kind of guidance, any nudges that you are getting about, opportunities that might be ripe. All these changes, this evolution, this ascension that you have gone through, even in the midst of all this pain and struggle, something about your vibration has shifted. Things that you are now able to manifest for yourself and magnetize in, they are different than they were before. You have a different series of options and possibilities open to you. It's almost a wider horizon. The idea of sky's the limit, that sky just got a little wider, got a little higher. And so now's really the time for you to direct that focus within and see, what else would you like to cultivate? What else would you like to manifest other than sort of union with this person? What are some kind of goals or a purpose or any kind of mission work that you may feel you and this person have together? Understanding that and being encouraged to embark upon that, even by yourself at this point in time, not putting these things on hold or deferring them for that time when this person is there in the physical to join you and accompany you and kind of walk by your side, understanding that in the higher realms you are always one. And so anything you've been really kind of putting off or procrastinating on because you felt it requires 3D union with this person, taking that action, acting anyway, and knowing that they are your partner in spirit through all of this. So I'm going to get some initials for you. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got H, Q, T, C, R, G, Y, K, U, W, B, L, E, J, and F. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I now offer pre-recorded video readings that are sent to you as a private YouTube link, so you can watch the video as many times as you like. Turnaround time on those is 3 to 5 days from the time of purchase. At the time I'm recording this reading, I have, I think, 2 written readings left in my shop. And once those sell out, I will not be restocking them. I'm phasing out of the written readings and going exclusively over to video readings. I do, however, and will continue to offer channeled love letters, which are written readings. Those are standalone letters. There are no tarot cards involved, and they are sent to you again as a written reading, as a PDF file. And so those are still available and will continue to be offered. I also sell I make handmade jewelry, dreamcatchers, and suncatchers, and I sell that in my Etsy shop as well if you're interested in checking any of that out. Again, links in the description box of the video or in the About section of my channel page. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 3. You chose the Quartz Angel, along with these cards, which I'll take a look at in a minute. This will be some guidance or further clarity about things that you need to work on or focus on in order to kind of bring you closer to that, that energy of union or reunion or reconciliation with your person. I'm going to start with some tarot to do a little bit of a map check, see where you are at currently on kind of this journey, how close you are to union, to reunion. Okay, so we have the Magician, which is Gemini, Temperance, which is Sagittarius, Nine of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, Knight of Swords, so more air energy, Ace of Swords, more air energy, the Chariot, which is Cancer, Ten of Swords, more air energy, and the World, which for me as a reader is fixed energy, Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. So a major energy here of kind of endings that are giving way to a breakthrough, to a new chapter. This feels to be primarily in terms of your thoughts. Maybe you have detached from labels or from expectations, from timing as well. You've leaned more into this energy of patience with temperance, where at one point in time, you may have been very anxious, very kind of fearful about, if union or reunion would happen with this person, when that would happen, thoughts, ruminations that had really put you in a place of dis-ease, in a place of panic and anxiety, not really certain about kind of what the outcome is, fears that you may have had, or even concerns about what the nature of this connection is, what you were seeing or not seeing displayed in the material sense by this person. In some way, there's been a breakthrough. You've ended that. You've concluded that. A major period of rumination. It's the end of a cycle with the World card here. An end of a major cycle of kind of fear or doubt even that may have really been kind of holding you back in this situation, tied very much to labels and timelines. You've cut through that. You've mastered that. You have seen the truth of this situation. Some way in which you are reimagining kind of the purpose of this connection, which you've let go of a lot of that, again, kind of being really tied to labels and to expectations of outcome, perhaps even comparing your journey to other people's journey. You may have been very kind of inclined to sort of, again, compare your journey and your circumstances to, say, information that's out there about twin flame signs of reunion, signs that this person is thinking of you, and, things of that nature, which can be very helpful, but it's also very limited. It's a very limited perspective. Everyone's experience is different. Every set of twins is different. The energies change as we evolve and get more into alignment on ourselves, the work that we do, the work that our twin does, what we avoid, what they avoid. It creates so much nuance beyond a checklist of things. And so there may have been a tendency to really, or even just rely too much on, maybe pick a card readings, maybe tarot readings. Instead, just kind of, again, looking outside of oneself for these confirmations, getting really lost in thought based on what you are hearing, what is coming through in a general reading, or even personal readings that you have gotten from people. Anywhere that you were trying to apply too much of that information to your situation. You were trying to kind of make yourself fit into a box rather than taking that stance. The best guidance of all, the most important thing in tarot, in divination, and in life in general, of take what works, leave the rest behind. That this is something that it feels that you may have understood that, but you have now crossed this threshold or are getting ready to kind of move into that state where that becomes a reality for you, where you are less concerned with sort of what other people's experience or what other people's interpretation or other people's definition of the twin flame experience is, the energies that other people are able to tap into, how that is translated, how that is kind of comes through the lens of even their own personal experience, their own worldview. People even who are twin flame readers, and yet they themselves are not twin flames. Their understanding of that journey is very limited, or they're sharing their perspective, but again, kind of the energies in which are touched upon, it's a very narrow view. It's such a large collective of individuals. Everybody's kind of on their own sort of stage and path of the journey, that it can only be really looked at as kind of general guidance or signposts, a rough framework, an outline, to which there are so many different threads and variations of how that can manifest. And it's very important to have that sense of community, that sense of camaraderie with others, where you feel understood. You feel that, yes, this is my story and it's being tapped upon here. These are the energies, these are the experiences. But on the times where maybe you aren't resonating with the readings, where your portion of the journey, you and your twin, you're in a different kind of stage than what the rest of the collective or the majority of the collective is resonating at, what they're experiencing. Maybe you're a little further behind on the journey, or you have advanced in some way, or you two have taken a detour that others are not kind of involved in at this point point in time, or it's just not part of their story. And some way in which you've really attached yourself to that, to defining this, to using logic to explain something that is a very spiritual aspect in nature. There's something very otherworldly. There's an otherness about this connection. Twin flame dynamics defy sort of the typical understanding of love and partnership. The purpose of that is to help us to kind of step outside of that box, to redefine that, redefine through experience our understanding of what love is, how that can be experienced by two people, how it exceeds flesh, it exceeds the boundaries of space and time. Spiritual connections, soul connections, again, they exist primarily in that realm of soul, and how that kind of filters down and trickles out and is manifest in physical 3D reality. It's just a face, it's just a facet of kind of the true nature of that connection, which exists up in sort of that unexplainable and undefinable realm of the soul and of spirit. And so there's in some way that you are expanding your definition, you are releasing definitions, releasing timelines. For some of you, you may even be reimagining, or kind of releasing a fixation on a particular individual as your twin flame. This is not to say that they were a false twin, or that they were a karmic, or they were, they might have been some kind of a catalyst, something that you attached too much of a label, or you were clinging too strongly on one particular person. There's been a release, there's been a closure, a conclusion of that. Maybe even something you've released within yourself about the idea of 3D union. Coming to a place of acceptance where what will be in the time and manner in which it will happen. Coming to a place of peace within yourself, that if in this lifetime the two of you are not meant to come into this energy of reconciliation and reunion, if this is meant to only exist in the higher realms, if the times that you shared together up to that point of separation, if that is the full extent of what you are to experience in a flesh and blood situation, that this is something where you've come to terms with that. You've released that. You've mourned that. You're accepting that. You're coming into that place of acceptance with that, opening yourself up to new possibilities, seeing beyond illusions, or recognizing the truth that if things don't work out with this person, other opportunities for love and fulfillment will be there. No longer defining yourself as, kind of this shared identity of being a twin flame, or being the divine masculine, or being the divine feminine, and holding that definition as a point of comparison with that counterpart, stepping into your own autonomy, your own sense of wholeness within yourself, redirecting again that focus on what you can manifest. Trusting that the energies you've put out, the intentions that you've put out, your manifestations have been received, have been heard, have been recognized. The universe is working on it. Your spirit teams are each working with each of you to bring about the best results for everybody's highest good in the time and manner in which it's meant to occur. And any ways in which you're kind of turning the page. This doesn't mean discarding the twin flame journey altogether, but just starting to look at this from a different perspective, starting to prioritize and appreciate and have gratitude for, maybe the elements outside of this connection, beyond this 3D physical experience with this one particular person, kind of what that has awoken within you, this truth, the true nature of yourself, this very almost magical element of yourself, this part of you that was asleep, that was not participating in the in the current conscious reality that has been awoken through these experiences. A major cycle that you're in the process of closing out, and for some of you this may mean kind of again walking away from this journey for this period of time, or for the foreseeable future, or for some of you forever, walking away in the interest of receiving the other blessings, love and contentment and companionship of another variety with somebody else, with somebody who has done the work, who is willing to meet you on your level, who sees and appreciates you for who you are, who has created that sense of balance within themselves that is very complementary to the sense of balance you are creating. So it's a major chapter that is closing, even if this is something where, you're opening your heart and mind to the possibility of love with another. It does feel to loosen up in some way. It creates a lot more freedom of momentum with the possibility of reunion or reconciliation with this person by letting go of these definitions or, again, these ideas of how things should play out, what stage of the journey you are in, and kind of, even some sort of like a runner chaser dynamic. You're letting that all go. And it's an openness, it's a freedom. Love which allows as opposed to love which kind of seeks to control or define. And that this is a very crucial step into, the mystery of whatever else will unfold between the both of you. This is definitely stepping out into unknown territory where now the future is truly unwritten. Now the possibilities between the two of you are wider than they were when you were operating in this very kind of small definition of what this looks like, who this person is to you, what this process is, where you are, the stages of it, what needs to be done. You're letting all of that go, and it's a freedom of allowing what will be in this circumstance. Stepping into that place of patience, understanding that the results you are seeking or that you would like to experience may not be immediate, but opening yourself up and really just surrendering in trust to, again, whatever will be in the time and manner in which it is meant to. So major kind of energy of conclusions here. Something within how you are looking at this, how you are viewing this, how much of your thoughts this consumes, or the way that you are defining this person, this dynamic with them, and yourself in tandem with that opens up a whole new possibility. It brings you closer into your own personal power, your ability to create the true sense of serenity, which you tasted with this person, which you envision with this person. You're now stepping into this ability to create that for yourself in perhaps surprising ways. Perhaps with this person, perhaps with somebody else, but you're moving out of this energy of almost being stuck or kind of running in circles to becoming someone who is capable of acts of creation, of a very profound nature, of things that will really, enhance your life, will advance kind of your experiences of tranquility and satisfaction, moving out of kind of this very sharp and distressful energy. Ways in which your thoughts and by consequence your energy has been sort of consumed by this process, by this journey, by this cycle or phase that you have been in, and you're now stepping into this energy of clarity, of really just freeing yourself, releasing yourself, liberating yourself, and even then by default this person energetically. You're cutting some kind of tether or cord, even if it's just an attachment to an idea, which then allows them, it ripples out and gives them the freedom of exploration to determine who they are, to come to these conclusions on their own, to start to investigate and research why they're still thinking of you, why they feel this so intently, even if they're not outwardly researching that, searching their soul. You're gifting them that. You're gifting them that ability to kind of go about that process on their own, to reach that point of conclusion where they then reach, that point of being able and willing to recognize the potential of self-liberation and to be able to enact that for themselves, which then opens up the vista of possibility of what can develop between the two of you. So this connection and even just you as an individual, you are ascending to a next stage of your way of kind of having been affected by these energies and these experiences and what you have come to know and believe and confirmations that you've gotten and knowledge and understanding you have about the purpose of this and the nature of this connection. You are expanding that now. You're stepping out into this unknown territory. It's almost like this idea of graduating. You've been in kind of this university and this school, the school of life, the school of experience, which you've learned about twin flames, twin flame journey, spirituality, ascension, psychic gifts, just all of these different things that have really come up for you. And now's the time to really take that out into the material world. Almost this idea of school's out, school's done. You've learned all you can from one phase or aspect or chapter of this connection. And now it's time to really bring that forth, to perhaps be that source of healing for others, and to really take the wisdom of experience that you've gained and utilize that to propel yourself forward into the next next stage of what, in a larger sense, this connection is really meant for, which is the ascension of the human soul. It's this balancing of light and shadow within self, so that greater kind of vibration can be received and recognized and held and embodied, and then kind of emitted out into the frequency and how that is impacting the world around you. So I'm going to take a look at these oracle cards now to see what else, in kind of in tandem or in relation or even in contrast to what has come through in terms of where you are currently on your journey, that you are well suited to focus on or work on in order to continue this momentum forward. We've got Flower of Life, Divine Creativity and Manifestation. Freya, the Goddess of Discernment. I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. The Keeper of Whispers, the Mad Prophet. Curiosity, madness, forbidden knowledge. And commune with your power animal, Eyes of the Jaguar. So there is an overwhelming energy here of stepping into your personal power. And this really feels to be stepping into the masculine polarity of self, whether you are male or female, biological male or female, energetically you resonate as masculine or feminine. We all hold masculine and feminine polarities within us that are beyond gender. These talk about active and receptive polarities of energy, sort of the information we take in and what we do with that, the actions that we take. You're moving out of a stage of taking in information, gathering information, kind of this twin flame school through experience, through things you've researched, through things you've learned, you've heard about, readings that you've had. In some way, it's time to crystallize all of these kind of mantras and all of this guidance and all of this advice and do something with that in a material sense. Advance your life in some way. Take some kind of forward action or step beyond the limits of how you perceive this journey up to this point in time. And that by doing that, you step into your personal power. You step into this period of really manifesting change for yourself. Change for yourself in other ways, and kind of that vibration of change can then help to exact change in the situation with this person. It's almost feeling that you're supposed to be kind of the way shower at this point in time. Whether this person recognizes this in a 3D sense, they're observing you and watching you, some kind of internal process of glow up. You're now at the stage of needing to kind of bring that forth into reality. Maybe it is starting your own tarot channel. Maybe it's a podcast. Maybe it's something else that you're passionate about, something you have learned in this process of introspection in your self-healing journey, some kind of talent or ability, something that is activated within you. A dream that was deferred that you have now kind of brought back to the surface, or again, some latent ability, some psychic ability that kind of changed how you view the world, how you move through the world, and that you may apply that into kind of a spiritually based business, or you may utilize that heightened discernment to really anticipate and to kind of see, to navigate your way through what might kind of be this obscure future, this unknown future, in order to find opportunities, find the direction you are wanting to go and the steps necessary to reach that. This feels like really applying your efforts to goals outside of reconciliation, outside of reunion, that you're in a powerful period of manifestation at this point in time. All of this effort, all of this cycling around, all of this knowledge that you have gained, it has really intensified your internal sight. You have raised your vibration internally to such an extent that now this period of kind of internal process has reached its conclusion. It's time to bring that out in some kind of physical way. There's a sense here too, with this reference to madness, that to continue down a particular path or looking at this situation in the same way, it's the idea of the definition of insanity, or one of the definitions of insanity, repeating the same things over and over and expecting different results. In some way you have come to the end of the road about some aspect of this situation. It is now time to widen your perspective, widen your understanding, release labels, release expectations of timelines, how that might look, how that union might play out, what the purpose of this connection is. If you've been looking at this purely from the box or the lens of 3D physical union in a romantic sense is the goal of having interacted with this person in this lifetime, you're missing a larger point of sort of what this experience has been. The pain and kind of the confusion and the dark night of the soul and all of these activations, it is intended for so much more than two people to come together and get married and live happily ever after. There's an awakening of two individuals on a soul level, at a core level, this authentic self, a light within each of you that has been dormant, it has been obscured. You were almost born with an amnesia in this lifetime. We all are. And by encountering one another, this very complementary frequency, you almost had the code necessary to unlock this gift, this part of each other, that then has been, kind of shining forth. It's been activated. It's been fed by the information you've taken in. It's that part of you that has helped transmute the pain you've experienced to come to understanding. It's the part of you that, recognizes and acknowledges that complementary otherness in that person. It's an aspect of yourself that is not meant to be kept internal. All of this growth that you've done, all the ways in which you've come to a place of acceptance, you've harnessed and you've become that light, which interacting with this person has really unlocked. That is the larger purpose of this twin flame experience, is to birth that light out into the world, to be that change in the world that you wish to see by first becoming that change within yourself. When we talk about ascension and growth and kind of self-development, self-healing and self-love, again, these are not elements and energies that are meant to be kind of kept internally. We become that living example. We minister that to others through our own kind of life, our own actions and the choices that we make. And so you're being called in some way to, not completely forever, unless you feel called to or nudged to, abandon this idea, abandon the idea of union or this person, this one individual as, the end all be all as your twin flame. You're not being asked to abandon that forever. You're being asked to really understand, how has this journey, how has what you have really stepped into, what is a greater purpose? How can that serve more people than just you and this individual coming together in some kind of 3D physical union? That there are gifts within you, there are these leadership qualities, there's this power within you which has been activated and unearthed. You are a force of change, you are a force of love in this universe, and you are at this very crucial crossroads point where you are now being called to bring that out, to make that your focus, to make that kind of the primary goal for yourself at this point in time. And by doing that, by stepping into that state of empowerment in a more direct, action-oriented, outward manner, your own healing is the testament healing is possible. Your own ascension is the testament that ascension is possible. Being that living example, that inspiration to others who are kind of circling around in this energy of madness, in this darkness, in this confusion, ingesting and taking in just the same kind of series of information, the same series of messages, the same kind of myopic view of a circumstance. There's something maybe very unique about your journey, a perspective about your experience, something you've uncovered within yourself that is not currently being spoken about in twin flame circles, in the twin flame community. Maybe that is your call. Maybe that is what you are meant to kind of bring out, is be this other voice, this other perspective. There's plenty to go around. There can't be enough, people reading as twin flame readers, or people really putting their energies out there. Every vibration is so different. Every twin flame journey is so different that if you're being called to sort of, throw your hat in to really, get off the bench, get off the sidelines and get into the game in a certain way, then that is kind of this step. This is what is, very necessary to kind of honor and to really make the most of this experience with this person, of what you've been through, what's been activated within you, ways in which you can help and kind of be that other perspective or voice for other people, to sort of help them on that kind of journey of ascension for themselves. By doing that, by recognizing your purpose, the greater purpose of this, and coming into alignment with that, you step closer to generating these sort of the next stage or the next evolution potentially with you and this person. Two people who are in alignment with their higher purpose coming together. You've reached the end of a cycle of a certain vibration or a certain series of experience, maybe a runner-chaser dynamic with this person. It's time to take the lead, to set that example of kind of that higher standard, to raise the bar so this person has the ability to rise up and meet you at that level. This may also then require kind of releasing your attachment to this idea in general, so that a partner who is of that similar vibration, of that similar mindset, who has cultivated that kind of same vibration as you, can meet you, can link up with you, so that you can experience the love that you are and that you embody and that you have become through this experience and through your self-healing and self-love journey. So you can experience that with another. You can combine forces with another kind of beacon of love who, through their own sort of process, has stepped into that in their own life, so that it's the combining of two kind of forces, two kind of powers, in order to be that living example of sort of love at a heightened vibration here in the world. So I'm going to get one of these little affirmation cards for you, and this can kind of summarize or reinforce what has come through in this reading. It can be a little mantra for you to keep in mind also. Okay, and we have, my mind creates a reflection of my physical world. I am at peace. So that's a great confirmation of this idea of manifestation. All of these seeds which have been sown within you, all of this work that you have done internally, the next step of what you are really kind of needing to do to advance or create momentum in this situation is to bring that out in some kind of physical way. Maybe this has to do with spirituality, something to do with twin flame journey, starting a channel, creating a blog, making artwork about this, writing about this. This could be something totally different though, totally outside of this. Talents, things that you really have been sort of turned on to. Maybe this is different kind of healing modalities. Dreams or goals that you had that you had kind of set aside that have been rejuvenated. You've sparked an interest once again in them, and it's time to kind of come out of this internal realm, this realm of rumination, this realm of kind of you've almost outgrown the pond that you are in, and it's time to move to a larger sort of environment in some way, to make your mark, to make your splash, to make your voice heard in this kind of this otherness, this other sort of environment, so that you are a beacon for others, whether in twin flame community or just kind of in the world around you, that change is possible. Things can be transcended, difficulties can be transcended, dreams can be actualized, they can be reached for and achieved. So at this point in time, it's really, you've achieved some kind of union with yourself, and now it is time to partner with yourself and sort of move forward to creating these goals and these dreams into reality. And by doing that, you again raise the frequency, you raise the bar, so that this person then has a point to kind of move toward. They have a goal to sort of strive toward energetically, of like, this is what I need to keep pushing toward. This is what I need to keep raising myself toward, is that point of intersection. And if they are unwilling or unable to do that, so you're at that heightened frequency, and love which can match that is able to sort of move in and meet you. You've outgrown a certain belief or a certain vibration, and now you may be kind of in denial about that, and it's definitely time to recognize that, honor and applaud yourself for the hard work you've done, not hold your light inside, not hold this wisdom and this clarity that you've gained, the strength that you have unearthed within yourself, but to bring that out, to be that living example of change for others in your community and for the world around you. So I'm going to get some initials. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got W, M, Y, P, R, D, L, X, Z, U, T, H, N, and I. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I now offer pre-recorded video readings, which are sent to you as a private YouTube link, so you can watch the reading as many times as you like. The turnaround time on those is 3 to 5 days from the time of purchase. At the time I'm recording this video, I have 2 written readings left in my shop, and once those sell out, I will not be restocking them. I'm phasing out of written readings and transitioning over to purely video readings. So if you're interested in a written reading, if those 2 are still available by the time you are watching this video, I highly suggest purchasing one of them, because once they're gone, they're gone. I do offer and will continue to offer, however, channeled love letters. And those are written readings. Those will remain written readings. They are standalone letters. There are no tarot cards associated with that. It's just the letter that's sent to you. Again, a written reading and a PDF file. Those are available, and I will continue to restock those and offer those. I also make handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers, which are available for purchase in my Etsy shop if you are interested in checking any of that out. Again, the link is in the description box of the video or in the About section of my channel page. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.